this video, we'll discuss the basic investment thesis and business objectives of the company SoFi to help investors that are potentially looking to understand more about this company understand why so many other investors are so bullish on this stock. The key part of the thesis all boils down to, in the United States, there is a very large legacy banking system, probably more legacy than other developed parts of the world like Europe and Japan, that is running on outdated infrastructure, like for example automated clearinghouses where it can take days to transfer money between parties, and there are a certain segment of legacy banks clientele that are being underserved by the bank that would prefer a more modern way of doing things. Large US legacy retail banks operate hundreds, if not thousands, of physical branches. This costs the bank money. At the same time, they can't really get rid of them too quickly because they have another segment of their clientele that are used to doing banking business in this way, going into a physical branch, but at the same time it's costly and unnecessary for a whole other segment of this clientele. It's also very difficult when you're such a large organization running on outdated infrastructure, outdated software, to segue yourself towards the most modernized technology. And that is what SoFi is doing. SoFi is the largest one-stop solution fintech bank in the United States, allowing people to bank from their mobile phone. Their business strategy is to offer a comprehensive suite of all of your financial needs in one place. What they're doing is they are targeting this younger, underserved, forward-thinking portion of the population. Many people might analogize them to Henrys, high earners, not rich yet. What this means is these are the type of people who, for example, they may want to refinance their student loan. That's how SoFi may acquire them. SoFi was historically a student loan refinancing company. Maybe their credit is better and they can get a lower rate. Maybe rates have gone down and they just want a lower rate. So they typically get acquired onto SoFi for one particular reason, but over time, their financial needs become more complicated. SoFi makes it incredibly easy for them to get the best mortgage. Maybe they want to start a business and they need a business loan. The more houses and cars they have, the more types of insurance they need to take out. Maybe they want to invest. These are the types of people that SoFi are targeting, and they're saying that they're very much underbanked in the legacy banking system. SoFi's CEO, Anthony Noto, calls this the financial services productivity loop, and hopes that by creating this one-stop shop, it can create a powerful cross-selling advantage. So once a customer is acquired, they can use their new innovative technology to suggest the most optimal products for users going forward. And what that will do, that will reduce marginal acquisition costs, make existing relationships stickier, and then also create even more ingrained switching costs than the legacy banks have. Anthony Noto himself is a CEO with a wealth of experience, and he basically took SoFi from what was a very much struggling refinancing of student loans company to the one-stop solution app with a banking license that it is today. He has experience in technology, being COO and CFO of Twitter. He has experience in investment banking, Goldman Sachs, TMT, managing director. Those are big three titles that a lot of people that work in investment banking and try to compete for. And he is just typically an extremely experienced CEO, and a lot of people rave about him. So they've transformed SoFi into this one-stop shop banking solution. Now, as I said, a few years ago, they were primarily a student loan company. But what you can see is they have a financial services segment that's highlighted here in purple that is growing extremely fast. This is where SoFi's largest TAM is, and this is the segment which includes all of those things that I'm talking about: credit cards, mortgages, business loans, insurance, all of these products that, as these high earner, not rich yet, segue towards being more mature on their financial journey, SoFi can help them out with. For the most recent quarter, this segment grew at 84.4% per year. They also have a technology platform which allows them to license banking as a service to other innovative fintech companies, for example, Moneyline and Dave, where they can actually use a lot of the SoFi's payment structuring and other products within their ecosystem. This is the smallest segment of SoFi, and it's not growing as fast, but it's also a lovely bonus to have when investing in the company. Lending as a whole is still the largest segment, growing 20% a year, But as I said, typically these high earner, not rich yet clients are acquired through either student loans or taking out other loans, and then they're upsold onto existing products within SoFi's financial services ecosystem, and then SoFi becomes the one-stop shop banking solution for them. SoFi is still very, very early in its journey, with members growing 34% and products growing 32%. So that's the amount of products sold growth within the year. Now, of course, as SoFi matures, the whole idea is that margins will go up because they're in the land stage at the moment. But as these members that are on the platform now mature, their financial needs become more complex, SoFi can upsell them the products, and therefore average revenue per user grows exponentially, and thus their margins tend to extremely high over the long term. Those are the basics investing in SoFi. I would like to do a separate video on their valuation in the future because they're sort of this blend of fintech, SaaS, traditional bank, and they're quite complicated to value, but that's what they do. And that is the thesis on the company.